Once upon a time in the 90s, a lonely child escaped reality by falling into a bizarre animated fantasy world.
And Hollywood looked at that idea and said, let's do it again.
Tonight it's James and the Giant Peach versus the Pagemaster.
Two childhood fever dreams, one winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Flick Fights!
And welcome back to Flick Fights, everyone, where two movies enter, one movie leaves. With me, as always, is Nick Nye. Nick, how we doing?
Pretty good. Coming off the long weekend, so not too bad.
Yeah, I almost forgot to watch movies. I was watching every other movie besides the ones for this show.
I know. The procrastination's amazing. It's like, I gotta watch that children's movie, but I could just sit here and twiddle my thumbs for 2 hours and do nothing.
I went down just a depressing war movie tirade because it was Memorial Day weekend, so it was advertising all of them. I was like, watch Platoon, and then I'll watch Full Metal Jacket, and then I'll watch fucking Jarhead, and just be sad.
Just thank God that wasn't me.
Yeah, no shit.
Conflicts.
If you're new to the show, what we do here is we take two movies with a similar plot, theme, actor, some connecting factor. We discuss the plot, and then we take them through 10 rounds, score them on a scale of 1 to 10, and declare a winner. And as we said in the opening, this week is two movies where they fell into an animation world. I'm sure there's more than these two, but these seemed like the front runners.
Yeah, no, these were two staples of my VHS collection back in the day. Like, remember I got James and the Giant Peach for like sitting in on like a focus group thing for some weird clown show that never saw the light of day.
So I literally watched James and the Giant Peach while having a fever and being home from school, so it felt extra fever dreamy.
Yep.
And I was shocked at how few people had heard of Pagemaster, but I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, looking at the box office, yeah, not many people did hear Pagemaster.
Everybody I knew did. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was some demographic it missed, but I watched it a lot. Like, it had all the famous people in it too.
Yeah. Well, and again, this might be before Macaulay Culkin though was like a thing. I think this is before Home Alone, isn't it?
Is
94?
it?
I think so. Because Macaulay Culkin,
1990 was Home Alone, so it was definitely after Home Alone. So I don't know. Maybe it was at the tail end of his fame. I think Richie Rich was before this.
Yeah, it's like, okay, he's about to go through puberty in 10 seconds. We've got to squeeze what we can out of it before he's done.
Richie Rich was the same year. That might be part of it. Everybody was just culkined out.
Yeah, we had enough, and there's many of them. We'll just save it for the later Culkins. We need to save some Culkin limelight.
But please give us 5 stars on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you're listening. Download the episode if you're on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment of something you'd like to see us do in the future.
Or just yell at us and tell us we're idiots. We love that too.
Or tell us if you know why nobody's heard the Pagemaster. Or tell us why the Pagemaster sucks. I don't fucking care. I'm not going to agree with you, but...
Like Harvey Weinstein had a, vendetta against Macaulay Culkin or something. I don't know.
Maybe
Stupider shit's
because
happened.
Michael Jackson had already gotten to him. This is terrible stuff to talk about in the opening.
Yeah, like 4 jokes right there that I could have just asked. No, let's move on. Just know I had more.
All right, well, with that, let's go ahead and get into the tail of the tape for this evening's matchup. In the red corner, we have James and the Giant Peach, released in 1996, directed by Henry Selick, budget of $38 million, worldwide box office of $37.7 million, just shy of even breaking even. Runtime of 79 minutes, IMDb has it as a 6.7. Rotten Tomatoes critics have it at 91%, which is a lot higher than everything else. Audience only gave it a 73. Other notable films by Henry Selick. This completely makes sense. Coraline, The Nightmare Before Christmas, and Monkey Bone. And this is like the least Henry Selick movie out of that list.
But, we do get Nightmare Before Christmas cameos, so, man.
Right, yes. That was incredible. I didn't even make that connection that he made that until now, but that's literally Jack Skellington.
Yeah, it's literally the same puppet. Like, you just got to imagine, it's like, we need a skeleton. Well, I have on my shelf here.
The top billed cast is Paul Terry, Richard Dreyfuss, Susan Sarandon.
Susan Sarandon.
Is she the spider? I did not know that. and Simon
That's why the voice
Cowell.
is so
That's
sexy.
crazy. Yeah, that makes sense. I was oddly attracted to that spider as a child and now.
Yeah, that explains a lot of things. My attraction to Croft girls and other things. We didn't have a
Yeah,
we didn't
Jack
have a chance.
Skellington mixed in and everything. Like, yeah.
The 90s were just throwing hot goth girls in children's
Yep.
media, and we just really didn't have a chance.
They were definitely programming us for what? I don't know. But
Yep.
it worked.
I, for one, welcome our fishnet goth overlords.
Yep.
All
Didn't waste a
right.
moment. First girlfriend I ever had was that. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, mine had a Nightmare Before Christmas tattoo. All right. In the other corner, we have Pagemaster, 1994, director Joe Johnston and Maurice Hunt. Budget of $27 million, worldwide box office of only 13.7, so took a bath at 50% of what it was cost to make it. Runtime is 75 minutes. This was a joyously easy watch this time. I knocked these both out in a day.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
IMDb of 6.1. This is fucking unfair. Rotten Tomato critics of 21%. No, I don't fucking think so.
It's horseshit. They gave it a 91 for James and the Giant Peach, but like, whatever.
Oh, just on animation alone should have gotten it over 50%. Just that. Like,
right. Well, you look at they're
right.
lined up pretty equally. They're both in the 6 range for IMDb. They're both in the 60-70 range for the audience. And then the critics just fucking hated Pagemaster for some reason.
Yeah, I know. And like you said, James and the Giant Peach, great movie. Not 91%. It's like not up there with fucking.
That's
like,
wild. What was the last one we just did that was in the 90s that I was like, it was good, but 90s insane. Like, what was it last week? I don't remember, but it was.
I don't know.
Critics and Rotten Tomatoes are fucking inconsistent as shit.
Wonky. Top casts. Other movies from Joe Johnson are Jumanji, October Sky, and Captain America: The First Avengers. So just childhood adventure. And
that blew my
one of these
fucking
things not like
mind.
the other. Yeah. Top casts are Macaulay Culkin, Christopher Lloyd, Patrick Stewart, and Whoopi Goldberg. So star-studded event here.
Yes, it was. And the dad is he's in a bunch of shit. I don't know his name, but he plays
his
the
dad
dad.
is one of those. Hey,
shit.
it's that guy from that thing.
Yeah,
and that other thing, and that one thing. Yeah, like you know him if you see him. It's very blonde hair, blocky, square head.
I've seen him in some comedy shit semi-recently. I think he's on I Think You Should Leave a lot, but yeah, he's literally always the dad figure. He was just born to be that.
90% sure he's in a Seinfeld episode or two. Yeah, this is one of those guys.
Yeah. Well, we'll go ahead and jump into the plot of James and the Giant Peach first. I want to say before we do this, I don't know if this is a shared thing, which is why I'm bringing it up, but I had like memories seared into my brain from these movies that I watched when I was this age, and most of them were just like physical and sound and like look memories. You know what I mean? I didn't like remember specific scenes, but there were certain like things that I was like, I have that book or that shelf drilled into my brain, or the bag of nails. Like, I don't know why.
It's like it's part of your dreams and stuff now. And just like, I know what you're talking about. It's like the best way to describe it is like certain movies from like your childhood, like a song, visual, like almost visual songs or like auditory songs. Like it's I know the notes of the words that are being said. I could like recreate the cadence exactly if you like put a gun in my head and say like, say it how Patrick Stewart said it. I'm like,
yeah, like the vase with the weird flowers in Nightmare Before Christmas. For some reason, I just like always imagined that texture and everything. Weird shit burning in my head with these movies. But yeah, we get our old school, beautiful, classic Disney intro that you never see anymore. Where I always
just
thought it said
still
Walt Disney.
images of bucks and like I remember like the what is it 101 Dalmatians has it and stuff. It's just as a kid I used to like just boring get to the cartoon and like fast forward through it, but now it's like kind of sets the whole vibe and it's a little orchestral kind of thing going on. And you get the themes of the movie and all these cool images of bugs start going on, and we meet our main character, James Henry Trotter.
Most British name ever made.
Yes, well, the most British kid ever. Just he's Tiny Tim from like fucking Futurama. He's not Cockney, but he's almost Cockney.
And they're standing on the fakest beach set literally ever made. It's like 20 square feet.
Back our TV days, like that looked great, but it's like, yeah, that windmill is like if you like lean backwards too far, you're gonna knock it over. It's not on the right as people think it is. Yeah, and
It,
they just have the most like, it's like, oh, nothing bad could ever happen, son, and it's one day from retirement, and like it's my birthday is tomorrow, and it's just like all the things that is just like it's gonna go bad. And
Disney loves to set you up to be hurt with their movies in the opening. They really
Yep.
fucking phoned it in with this one. They literally are out loud
Yeah.
saying he had the happiest life ever, and then he didn't. Like within
Yeah.
2 minutes, they just fucking phoned it the fuck in.
Yeah. Parents, the only reason they're really there is to A, die, and B, hand him the map. That's like their only narrative like importance in the entire story. But yeah, then we get something that I've never really understood. Have some thoughts about it, but then a giant rhino comes out of the clouds and eats his parents. And
Yeah. I didn't know if that was a metaphor for something or
Yeah.
like just weird,
mean,
quirky bullshit from this guy.
judging, Roald Dahl, that's totally just a fucking Roald Dahl thing, but I feel like there's got to be some more depth to it than that. Just he was having a fucking off day. It's just like, oh, it's a villain. Yeah, fucking smoke ran out. I'm sure the beginning and the end. But like, I'm guessing like air raid, maybe like World War II kind of a thing.
Right.
That was maybe my thinking, but yet again, not clear, unclear. Rhino eats his parents, smash cut, we're in the fucking Harry Potter suite.
Yeah, I kind of thought that might be something. I just like now that I'm older, I understand what that really meant. I still don't get it.
Nope.
It's
Yeah, car crash, maybe, like smoke and noise.
well, even the
it's
ants
unclear.
say that rhino's still out there, and I'm like, did they just lie to him about how his parents died? Is that what that is? I don't know. 'cause
Yeah, I don't know.
it's
Like
fucking
they
strange.
might have killed them, but they've never really talk about it. But yeah, we meet his aunts, Aunt Sponge and Aunt Spiker, who I thought was Spider for the longest time when I was a kid, because just they say it through very hard British accents.
So that means their first names are Sponge and Spiker, and I'm like, in what
Yeah.
world are you naming people this? Because they're sisters,
also-
so that's not their last names.
Yeah, and which is mom's sibling, dad's sibling? Never clear.
I'm pretty sure it's the mom because they talk shit about his dad. They're like, your dad was always a pussy and shit, basically. So I'm not assuming it's their moms, or they just really hated their brother.
Yeah, one of the two, but yeah. Just great character actors. One of them looks actually dead. Like Aunt Spiker. It's like the most skeletal looking, like when she draws her teeth back, it's like, oh god, it's a lich.
They gross me out so much, and they really lead into it because they wake him up and say you're already late for your chores. You slept in for 4 minutes, and they're saying in unison, work, work, work. And while he's doing chores, you see the fat one sitting over there just talking about how gorgeous she is, and I don't know how to explain this. I was like, the worst thing you could do for me is have like nasty ass feet as a woman, because I'm kind of into feet. And then she's like, and I have the daintiest little toes. I'm like, ew! That was like the worst thing you could have done right now.
Oh yeah, no, like we get a fucking guest director of Quentin Tarantino for like fucking 5 seconds as we get this like hard close up on her foot, and then her sister talks shit. It's like, yeah, but you're fat, like in a rhyme, but like basically that. Also, too, something as we were kind of pulling out into this areas, they live in this like shack on precariously perched on this fucking cliff at the edge of like the sea. And in case you didn't know at this point, this is a Tim Burton production, so no straight lines anywhere.
Right. Very series of unfortunate events, opening, look, everything. Like they had to have been inspired from these people, but yeah, they kill a butterfly too. Then oh god, it was so nasty when she took off her socks. And then they catch him looking at his dad was talking about how they were going to move to New York in the beginning and how great New York is. And they catch him looking at the travel book they had, yell at him for slacking, and then they start circling him, telling him that's why your mom and dad died, and the rhino will get you too. And then they tear up his map. He says,
then it's dinner, and they have dinner outfits apparently. Like I don't know how many fucking different outfits these women have, but it's a lot. Like they like get like full formal wear to have dinner with each other. It's a very odd dynamic these two have.
Yeah, I guess they don't they don't go out, they don't have a life, so they just act like everything they do that's not sitting outside is fancy. I don't know, like make every little thing an event, but then they just fully engage in child abuse.
Yes, just completely deny him food, and then just give him like rotten fish heads out of the oven, and he steals chips out of the trash and runs into his room.
That sucked. Yeah, he takes a bag out, runs it. It was like licking the bag clean, and I'm like,
Yeah,
somebody
it's like
needs
a
to
little
intervene
tiny
here.
palm full. Oh, dude, this is like fucking England during World War II, which is I'm assuming because like happened to my grandma. Like her fucking house got bombed out, and she had to go live with her fucking relatives up north and shit, which is very much what this feels like.
Right.
And like yeah, there just not enough parents in orphanages for everyone at the time, as fucked up as it was. Yeah, he makes a little spider friend on the windowsill, which the only way I think that works is they actually painted a spider.
Uh-huh. Yeah, there's zero chance that was happening naturally in nature. So yeah, they definitely abused that spider. And
Yep.
but that's one of those things though that was burned into my memory was that spider, like how it looks.
Yep.
So mission accomplished.
Yeah. And this, if you know, this is a musical, if we didn't mention it, and we jump into the first song, which is "My Name is James." That's what my mother calls me. My name is James because that is who I am. It's pretty simple song. It's really making sure we understand that this character's name is James. And while he's doing that, he has like a little grasshopper candle that he saved from like a cake that his parents had. It's like one of like his like last two treasures. And he then turns the potato bag chip into what I can only describe as an incendiary device, probably hoping to take out the fucking house and everyone in it, including himself.
He makes a sweet flying lantern, which does not work with that kind of candle. But by God, I sure tried when I was a kid and saw him do this. I was
Yep.
like, what? It doesn't fucking work, but yeah, it's super
Yeah.
cool.
And then I did write this down. Very. He has the most little kid voice that you've ever heard. So, a few times where it's just like, oh, that's like, I think this is a speech impediment. I don't think that's cute. I think we need to get the speech therapist in here as soon as we can.
It was hidden behind the British accent.
Yes.
Yeah, he tells the spider that it's not safe in the window and then puts it back in the window and wakes up to his aunt's trying to kill it with one of those super old school spray things that nobody I've never seen in real life before. But
No.
they're always in Disney cartoons. Remember they had one in 101 Dalmatians too, the fucking like pump spray.
Yeah, I figured that like all got like thrown away like when we banned DDT and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The cancer spray pump.
But he saves the spider, runs down the stairs, and his aunt falls down with him. Yeah, the spider's on the ant's face, and the other ant hits her in the face. You know, all that shit.
Yeah.
And then he's
Scribbles
outside,
outside the
tells the
spider.
spider to run away, and he's like, I wish I could. And then not Daniel Day-Lewis, who comes up in a lot of the movies we cover, pops up out of nowhere dressed like Captain Crunch.
Yeah, bunch of watches on him, like just screaming stranger danger. But I mean, honestly, what could be worse than what this kid has at this point? So I mean, it's rolling the dice. It's probably gonna be better.
He's just like an adult that isn't the two people that abuse me. I'm in.
Yeah.
But he says, what's stopping you, James? And then shows him a bag of, this is another one of those visuals that I couldn't stop thinking about what it would be like to put one in my mouth. But it's a bunch of green, I was 4, so that makes sense.
Yes.
Bunch of green glowing worms that kind of look like that twirly pasta. I think that might have been what it was.
Yeah. Probably, yeah. They're all twitching around and jumping, and it's a list of things. It's like crocodile tongues, dead witches, like, and fingers of a young monkey. It's like it's a whole fucking
boiled in
list
the
of things.
skull of a dead witch for 20 days and 20 nights. And then he says, let stew them for a week and let the moon do the rest. And then he like blinks his eye and it's all white, then blinks again and it's gone. But yeah, he says they're super magical and marvelous things will happen, things you never dreamed of, but you'll never be miserable again. Says the magic isn't here, points at his chest, but you can have them, and don't let them get away. Though, if they get into anything else, their magic will go into that thing. And what immediately, not a fucking beat goes by before he falls down and they go everywhere.
Yes, but also just remember, kids, if a strange man wearing rags hands you a bag saying there's magic in it, don't take it.
I want to make a skit of just this scene where it's just a guy with a bag of crack. And then the ants get into the crack and
How
Yeah,
can the
he
situation
spills
be
them
worse, Crack?
immediately, and they go into the ground all around this tree, and the ants come out yelling at him. And while they're talking, they notice a peach has grown immediately on this tree.
Oh, and it's great because like Sponge or Spike is like, beat him, Sponge. She's like, it's too early. He's like, oh, you're lucky. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, like you're too tired for the child abuse.
And yeah, it swells up to the size of the house, like just insanely large. I really want to know how they did that, like practically. It was really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's giant.
It's a balloon probably at first, but at a certain point, yeah, it's fucking insanely huge.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're just instantly like money.
Yeah, smells like money. And I'm just like, I wouldn't, even if there's a giant peach and you like, we went out on a weekend and like, let's go check out the giant peach. And then we get there and see these two ladies in that house. I'm like, I'm not going. I don't care.
Yeah. And also the fence they erect around, it's like completely pointless. Like, yep, I can see it from the fucking road. Cool, we saw it.
Right.
Let's
go. They pose like absolute cunts for a photographer. They tear up one kid's ticket because she asked if she could see it. And then this is breaking my heart. They're just showing James crying in his room and he's all dressed up. And then later they're like, what are you all dressed up for? He's like, I was hoping to play with the children. And I'm like, oh God, James.
And they're just like, oh, well, the children are gone. We can play with the trash. And his hands on like the quintessential trash stick with nail and bag. Yeah, like fucking, yeah, Harry Potter had nothing on like the fucking abuse this kid was dealing with. He just had a slightly snooty uncle and a bully. Like,
they're so skilled at thinking about the worst thing that could happen to a kid. And it really is concerning. They're like, what if the little kid got all dressed up in his little room and was all happy to play?
Yeah,
you know what I
there's
mean?
one thing. There's like negligent child abuse, which I would say is like 90% of it. These like actively hate the child like he did something to them. Like,
right.
It's like they're taking vengeance out on this kid. Like somehow.
And like they never show they never add in like a factor like we only took you because it came with your father's social security check or something. Like like we just took you to torture you.
Yeah, really has that vibe. Yeah. Yeah, he's out there, and I think they mock him with the rhino again, like from the house as he's picking up trash, and he sees there's one worm left, and it jumps into the peach, and he grabs it and takes a big old bite out of it, and then peach portal, which is way more colonic than I remembered it initially.
That's a good way to describe it. Yeah, it's straight up like a butthole sinks in and just starts spewing out green magic.
Yeah, the Coraline transition. This is straight up like peach butthole.
Yeah. So let's talk about the transition. He it's just a silhouette of him crawling and like getting animated, just the silhouette. Really, all that changes is his head becomes fucking gigantic.
Yes. Yeah,
and I would have just loved the part where he stands up and he's like, shit, I can't keep my head up.
Yeah, no, we find out later physics just like said fuck you in this entire world. Like none of this makes sense, but including his steel cable like neck muscles required to hold up that melon.
Yeah, then we meet the bug cast.
Yeah, which at first I kind of try to treat like a horror situation, as like you're getting these like silhouettes of them through like this like I guess it's a dollar bill or something, and then he falls through it, and the whole room is in black light for some reason. Everything starts like freaking out, and he screams like, "Don't eat me!" And you're like, "We don't eat you," even though the spider just kind of stands in the back and doesn't really say anything.
She's like, "Well, I was gonna, but whatever." Yeah, it would scare the holy fucking shit out of me. So the animation style is just like Coraline, or like Corpse Bride is also what it reminded me of, especially when it shows the worm guy. He looks like Corpse Bride. But yeah, they all introduce themselves, basically say, we fucking hate your ants too, and do a whole little song about it. And
we got a ladybug, a centipede, a grasshopper, a worm, a spider, and a glow bug who really is just furniture.
Yeah, he doesn't have, he just glows.
Yeah. It's like, oh, light. That's the entire character.
Yeah. Yeah, the ladybug is like his grandma, basically, and the worm is like your New York hustler. And the grasshopper is like a Oxford professor, basically. And
the
spider's
worm's like
French.
your neurotic uncle. Yeah. And the centipede's the Brooklyn hustler, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The worm's a blind guy, yeah.
And like, I hate to rush past the songs in this, but they really don't add anything to the plot.
I fucking hate musicals. I hated them even when I was a kid. I would fast forward past the songs. I'd never have given a fuck in my whole life.
Like, basically, they're all just describing their perfect home, like where
Right.
they want to be. And the song gets cut short as they hear the aunt and uncle now, and it's like they're gonna squish us. And like, I think some of us is like, dude, we're like 7 feet tall now. They're not gonna squish us anymore.
Like, we could just fuck them up, but instead the centipede comes up with a genius plan they haven't done this entire time for some reason, and just chews off the stem of the peach.
Yep. Well, to be fair, I think they've been like alive and sentient for like 5 minutes or a day, maybe. Like,
They
at
talk
most,
yeah, but they talk about their lives there as if they've been around for years and years and years experiencing. Because the ladybug's like, I had to send my grandkids away because of them.
I'm just thinking that they're anthropomorphizing their previous memories. It was just like they're just like coding sentience onto like their simple bug lives and just like overriding the memories and the magic. Yeah.
But this movie, we'll get to it at the very end, does something unique that no other movie like this does, where it translates to reality. But
yep. Like, yeah, no, this all happened, and yeah. So here's everyone else sees it.
Deal with that, bitch.
Yeah, but they cut the peach stem, and the aunts are searching for him, mocking with the rhino death of his parents again. That's just like their go-to. It's just like the second he's out of line, it's like, yeah, remember your parents died.
Yeah, rhino's gonna kill you. Fuck you. Yeah, falls off a cliff. And they go.
Well, they see the peach start moving first, and then like they get into the car, and they went to the Prometheus school from running away from large rolling objects, and just like run directly away from it, and then get in a car that doesn't start. The whole thing gets fucking crushed, presumably killing them. But we'll get back to that later. I mean, Roald Dahl is not above some fucking murder. Like, I remember reading the BFG, and like the fucking Giants was like, oh yeah, Giants killed like 7 people today. What?
But it also, like, while it's rolling, it like rolls through the town. Bounces over a church. It like picks up everything it's gonna need for the voyage, basically, because it rolls over a fence in a perfect pattern that makes like a walkway going up the side of the beach.
Yeah, sketchiest walkway ever. I never thought about that as a kid, but there's a part where they're walking out, my butthole was just going like, oh no! It's the confidence of a child who doesn't know how close he is to death. Oh god,
right? Yeah, it like fades to black. And I also like it, when it's rolling out, you see a rooster on a fence and the peach looks like a sunrise as it's coming towards it. That was cool. Yeah, they all wake up. James helps the ladybug off of her back. I didn't know that was a thing. The ladybugs can't get off their backs. They go to the top, go to the top to see where they are, and they're in the ocean. And Spider says, we're in the middle of the big puddle. Everybody starts freaking out. Worm's like, but there's dirt, right? Like, describe it to me. And they're like, no, there's no dirt. He's like, ah! That's the old man where they're going, and they find the travel book that I thought was ripped up in his jacket. And
yep.
Here's the problem. Like, things that shouldn't be real. Like, obviously, I'm like chalking off to, oh, it's part of the weird animation trip. But then it's real later. So this map apparently exists again and can live track their journey and show them where they're heading. So,
but they
that's a
don't
thing now.
use it when they're lost later. So
right. But he tells them, New York has something for everybody, and the centipede is apparently from New York, and says in Yankee Stadium, and they'll say another couple things, and he's like, the subway.
Yeah, just basically just gaslighting them all into thinking he's this like amazing navigator, and that like everything they need is in New York, and they should all go there. And they're like, okay, cool, yeah, we'll go there, but how? Like we're stuck in the middle of the goddamn ocean. And then James gets the idea of sequel power.
Yeah. He's like, oh, that won't work, and they're like, no, use your imagination. What is your idea? And then when he says it, I think the worm is like, yeah, that's a dumb fucking idea.
Yeah, and it's like, we need miles of rope, and it's like, Spider's like, yeah, I got miles of rope, and he says it's like this little fucking like spool that ejects from her back.
Yeah, they get like one seagull, and then they essentially design a net to get the rest of them, and they tie up all these birds, and
but as
they use the worm as bait. They're like tickling him to make him shake around.
Yeah, but then as they're gathering everything up, like the worm is listening. It's like, I hear teeth like in the water.
Yeah, this is a really like just imaginative invention for this movie, but again, if things are real, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
A mechanical
It's like
shark comes out of the water,
fish-
equipped with
I always guess
missiles
it was
and
like
shit.
fish processing machine or something, because like it spits out the fish heads on plates. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
some weird
fucking
harvesting
horrifying. It
madness
starts
machine.
shooting like harpoons into them and shit. And
it always reminded me of the fucking mechanical shark from Banjo-Kazooie.
yeah. Well, I wonder which one came out first. I wonder who ripped off who. But yeah,
imagining
it's
this,
a lot
because I think like
that.
Super Nintendo was out in 1994, 6 or whatever. We
Oh, and it
little
shoots a
action
chomping
scene.
mini shark. I like that part too.
Yeah, little shark missiles. Yeah, and then like it fires 2 like harpoons that have like cables attached to them that sink into the peach and knocks the centipede off, and he starts like sliding down to like the fucking garbage disposal mouth of this thing.
Yeah, yeah, and the chomping mini sharks are biting off some of the seagulls that they still manage to catch. But yeah, they do this back and forth, and they knock the harpoon back perfectly into the mechanical shark's mouth, and it explodes. And then everybody
bit of a
cheers for
design
James.
flaw.
Yeah, it's like a Death Star level design flaw. You've built this incredible aquatic weapon, and all you have to do is put anything into its mouth.
And yeah, we find out now the stem also perfectly acts as a rudder. Thank goodness that's how that works. Earthworm's still freaking out. There's a little scene where James is like, "I'm brave. You're brave." He's like, "Yeah, I'm brave." And that's just over. That's the
says,
scene where I was like, "Oh god, this
Wonderworm."
fucking yeah, that's the scene of this walkway is not okay. Like this is
right.
It's
And
chill
then
at the
everybody
bottom for no
starts-
reason.
Centipede's so hungry he eats a cigar and then starts hallucinating everyone as food, like you'd see in all these
Yeah.
stranded at sea things. Someone's a wedge of
Notice
cheese
how Miss
and
Spider's not
wine.
freaking out though, because she's just like, "Well, just wait for the first one you go down. I'll be fine."
Exactly. Yeah. It's got everything I need here. And I just love, so yeah, they're hallucinating food and everything. He sees the worm as a hot dog, all the seagulls are roasted chicken, and like starts to eat one until the ladybug stops him. And then James has the genius idea, like, we're on a peach. And everyone's like, oh shit.
Yeah. You said they've been sentient alive for a day. They have no life experience yet. So
And they do a whole song and dance where they show that they can eat the peach, they can make jam out of it, they make a peach beer that
Yep.
looks delicious.
yes, that I always thought looked amazing. And they just like really gross food that they would normally eat. Like there's like one where it's like engine oil and dirt or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, whole song about it, and this was adorable. As a kid that missed his mom, I really liked this part. The spider makes James a little bed and out of a spider web, and says, "You were nice to me first," and tucks him all in and everything. That's the first time he realizes it's a spider from the window. And I'm like, "How many
Yep.
spiders did you see with black and white stripes, my dude?"
Yeah. Maybe it's just how spiders were near him. And then I'm like, you're really trusting the spider. Just like, okay, I'm gonna put you in a cocoon and I'm
Yeah.
gonna go in this little pipe and now just go to sleep.
I'm saying I don't give a fuck. After being abused for years, you think he would be like, "Listen, I really appreciate it, but I need you to go all the way away from me while I sleep."
Well, either that or it's like the other end of like attachment syndrome where they're just like, anyone, please.
Pretty much what happens, yeah. She says nobody can make you do anything now. You're a brave boy, and puts him to sleep. And yeah, God, they really designed these movies for lonely. They knew our parents were either not watching us or abusing the shit out of us, and these movies were like, oh my God, like heroin.
Dude, it's like every Disney Channel movie has like a divorced parent. Like,
Yeah.
because they know their demographic.
Kind of disgusting, but I also adored them and needed them.
Yep. And then we move on to the Monty Python dream.
Yeah, so that was the weird thing. They take like a whole other type of animation in this movie. They go from 3D animation to a weird, like you said, Monty Python, or like when they show the Canadians
Paper
in South
Cell,
Park. But yeah, he has a nightmare about himself being a caterpillar eating a peach, and the ants come after him and say the rhino's gonna get you, and then he
Aunt Sponge is made of sponge and Aunt Spike's made of spikes.
yeah. But he wakes up freezing, and there's snowflakes everywhere, and they see Centipede had fallen asleep at the wheel earlier, and they see a bunch of stranded ships and icebergs all around them in the sea, and the
Grasshopper's
grasshopper
hopping mad.
roasts the Centipede in the most educated way I've ever heard. And I love it because he says, "You're a disgrace to your film, class, order, genus, and species." And he says, "Say it in English. You, sir, are an ass." And I was like, I don't remember that being in this movie. I would have lost my mind hearing a swear word when I was a kid.
I got one. Probably the fucking scriptwriter's like, no, he's calling him a donkey. It's fine. It's like, all right.
But yeah, they're like, they all start shitting on him like, "You piece of shit. Have you even been to the places you
James
claim?"
is like, James is like, "I believe him," and he's like, "Actually, I'm a fraud. I just lived inside of National Geographic magazine for a while."
Yeah. So I like that you said that for a while. Like that was just where he posted up for a while. And yeah, the grasshopper boxed him like Oxford British style boxing and knocks him the fuck out, knocks a tooth out, which is concerning thinking about centipedes having teeth that can be knocked out.
Yep.
But he says they're screwed. We don't have a compass or anything. And again, why not just look at the magic map? They're like,
we can't have a cool skeleton fight for the boys.
Exactly. He says, "Surely one of those ships have a compass." And they're like, "Yeah, but only a crazy person would go into those icy waters." And the centipede's like, on it, fucking jumps in because he needs to redeem himself now.
Then,
he goes,
an underrated
"Oh my
line
goodness, he's committed pesticide."
Pesticide. Yeah, I was like, oh, I didn't get that as a kid, but that's pretty good. Yeah, and apparently, negative freezing temperatures and lack of oxygen and gravity are just not things in this dojo.
That's what I'm saying, man. I know it's a kid's movie, so it doesn't really matter. But like, what's real and what isn't never becomes clear because they muddle the lines a lot.
They act like he's in danger because he's jumping into cold water, but that like never becomes a fucking thing. Like
no, and it really does seem like everybody can just breathe underwater now.
Yes. They're talking down there, like, I mean, we're on full, like, fucking SpongeBob physics here.
Exactly. But James says we need to go after him, and
it's like, he's my friend.
Right. And the spider says she'll go with him. Ladybug's like, "You better take care of him." And they dive into the water, and you see Centipede walking inside of a skeleton pirate ship underwater, and you literally see. He says, "Oh, a skeleton jackpot," and it's literally Jack fucking Skellington in a pirate hat.
Yeah, he's got this like glowing compass in his hand in the most like obvious D&D boss fucking way ever. Just like, "Hey, take this. I'm gonna wake up and try to kill you."
I do like that they took the effort to, when he walks away, you see little strings attached to it as he walks off with it, and he, the classic cuss without cussing thing. Oh, a bunch of other skeletons come up out of the floor, and he goes, "Holy shipwreck!"
Yep. Yeah, it's a disparate crew. Like there's like a Inuit in there as well, which is a little odd.
It was a little odd. I don't remember that part of our history, but
yeah, I guess like he just incidentally died in the ice near there and just like found these dudes. Yeah, and was like, "Oh, I don't hang out with these guys." I guess.
But they're torturing the fucking shit out of him when they find him. They've got him all stretched out.
They do the joke, which is like, "Oh, that one felt pretty good."
Yeah.
Which I always think it does. I want one of those for my own use, just, so
seriously,
that I can stop.
This is like the second or third movie we've seen with that bit in it, and I'm like, every time I want to try it.
Yep.
Yeah, they all get into a fight. Pretty cool fight, underwater fight, but yeah, all the yelling and fire and shit being underwater.
Yep. Miss Spider comes down and does a bunch of fucking like Matrix fucking moves and kicks like 5 skeletons' ass simultaneously with their 8 legs.
Right. And then they start floating back up, and the pirate pulls Centipede back down, and they come back up, and they're like, "Oh, where is he?" And they see all his clothes float up, and then
and they hold us in suspense for a whole 3 seconds.
Yeah, he comes up. So he somehow took the time to take off his clothes while he was down there and put on pirate clothes and get a sword just to pop up for this epic moment. But now he's nodding off, and the grasshopper comes to relieve him of duty, which they should have done in the first place, instead of shitting on him for being like, "You just be the pilot 24/7 and never take a break."
Yep.
And then he plays some music and he like shits on other grasshoppers. He's like, this is probably what you're used to hearing.
Yeah.
He's like, fucking hacks.
But yet again, flying into the like what is real and what is not real here, it's like I've heard that music before. You used to play on the hill outside my house. Like,
Right.
do you have tiny violin? Like, was all this regular? They just got big, and that was the only difference that happened to them. It's just like Bug's life is going on like in the fucking like grassy knoll next to his house.
Yeah, if they had one single credit scene that is just James in a straitjacket, the whole movie makes sense now. But otherwise, yeah, there is.
Poor kid, his aunt's abuse finally broke him. Found him standing over their bodies with an axe, just humming about a ladybug or something. I don't know. just let him be.
But they have another musical number where it sounds just like the song from Monsters, Inc. I wouldn't have nothing if I didn't have you. It's just like that song.
Yep.
A lot of Randy Newman in these movies too.
The last song is straight up Randy Newman.
yeah. The good old days.
Yep.
But the song ends and they're at New York City now. They made it. Very quick trip.
Yeah.
The pace of this flying peach is breakneck.
Oh yeah, no, I did a transatlantic voyage in like a day, basically. Which is like, 1920s, like it took the Hindenburg like fucking like 20, 30 days to make that trip back then.
Right.
Should travel by peach and seagull. They didn't know.
How long does it take seagulls? Do they cross the ocean?
I mean, yeah, but they like stop and sleep. Like those things have had to be just like pumping the entire time without
I don't
rest
know why
or
I've never
food or
considered
water.
this. What do birds do when they cross the ocean? They just
No,
fly
they float.
nonstop, or they float? I'm fucking stupid.
Well, there's different kinds. I know like different birds can do different things. I know like pelicans can like basically like turn off one half of their brain at a time and like fucking go into like an auto glide mode basically. And
I
like,
need
that's
that
how they can
shit.
go, like, super
I need
far.
that.
Yeah. There's a lot of animals that can do like a fucking dolphins do that apparently too. So they can't be like
incredible.
completely asleep, but like they fucking just like cycle brain sides.
So they
to
literally do severance.
Yep.
But yeah, they all shed tears of joy as they come across New York City, and then immediately there's problems. Storm starts coming in behind them. They're getting blown off course, and then they see the rhino is in the clouds. And James is like, I'm not afraid. I want to face you head on. And then the worm somehow knows.
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid.
Which is a thing that happens in both of these movies where they say, I'm not afraid anymore.
Yep.
But somehow the worm was there when his dad said, they were like looking at clouds at the beginning of the movie. And he's like, I see a castle or some shit. And he's like, I don't. He's like, try looking at it another way, James. And then he's like, remember what your dad said. Look at it another way. I'm like,
Yeah, they didn't have this conversation.
That?
I've been stalking you for years beneath the earth.
It would have been funny if it took a turn where he was like, I never told you that story. And the worm's like, dun, dun, dun.
Takes off his glasses. He's the rhino.
He's Aunt Spiker.
No, it's both of them, just a really long worm costume.
But yeah, he says that, and then he's just like, "You're not even a real rhino," and I'm like, "Well, no shit. Like that was you're looking at it another way. This is the thing that you're telling it isn't real. Like not the skeletons or."
Yeah, and apparently that was enough. Like it's like fucking it. You just fucking stand up to it, and it just fucking dissolves.
Right. The rhino's just like, "Oh, you got me," but then lightning strikes the peach.
Yes, and all the fucking seagulls get knocked away, and you see all the bugs like grabbing onto the strands, and James falls into a free fall that should have killed him. I don't care how squishy and soft that peach is inside.
Makes zero goddamn sense. He gets knocked unconscious, so yeah, it fucked him up.
Yeah.
And
also,
the bugs
like,
are all like,
fucking,
"No, James."
Yeah. Yeah, then he wakes up like this like red light. So also that the fucking pole could have just like skewered him, and that could have been fucking the end of the movie.
Can you imagine being on the ground level of New York City and be like, "Is that a fucking? Oh my god,
that's not peach jam. It's not peach jam at all."
The newspapers are like, "Giant peach falls on top of the Empire State and a little boy." A very dead child fell upon the Empire State Building this morning.
Other news: 7 kaiju rampaging across New York. News 11.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
he wakes up, coughs up one of the green worms. Maybe
Yeah,
that's
I
how he
guess it's just
survived.
chilling in his fucking throat the whole time, I guess. Like,
Right. And then he morphs back into real life James. This big flashing red light, crawls out of the peach and sees the city below, and then zooms out. You see the peach just falling on top of the tower. And you see a little girl
yep.
with a telescope outside looking up at the peach, tells a cop, there's a little boy up there. And he gets on, runs over to a phone booth, which is super cool, old school shit. Mabel, we got
And
an
that's
unidentified object here. Round, fuzzy, looks like giant fruit or something. I don't know. Just send the
yes.
biggest crane in New York.
And thus started the second largest incident where a large, mysterious flying object hit a small, tall building in New York.
They should have been prepared. Fucking 9/11 happens in this universe, and they're like, is it peaches? Oh, no.
Yeah.
Very much not peaches.
No, it's plums.
It'd be hilarious if in this universe 9/11 happens with seagulls attached to fruit. Everything awful still happens in this world. It's just quirky.
Lemons cannot melt steel beams.
You know that centipede would be one of the conspiracy theorists too.
But where did they get the compass? Oh, that's what they don't tell you. It's the skeleton. You only found no bodies because there were no bodies.
God damn it. Oh shit. Yeah, you see a guy come in on a crane, and James says, how do I get to the Empire State Building? He's like, you're on top of it, kid. And he's like, we made it. Well, I made it. And he's all sad. And guy brings him down. And he's like, did you see any big bugs tonight?
He's like, how big?
I love that that's his question. Not like, what are you talking about? Nobody is as concerned as they should be with the situation.
Yeah, no, and like while this is happening too, like buckets of fucking peach gunk are like pouring onto the populace at probably terminal velocity. Like a few of those people are not okay.
Right. There's reporters everywhere. Fireman brings him down from off the peach, and they also bring the peach down, and everyone's marveling at it. You know, I think it's supposed to be like this, like you said, like the 40s or some shit. So everyone's just out in the street staring at this peach. And this cop, who's I've also seen a bunch of other shit. I like this actor, but he's like, it's okay, little guy. Nobody's gonna hurt you. And then as soon as he says that, the crushed car rolls up, and they open the doors, and seawater pours out of it.
Yeah, so apparently, like, they just drove under the ocean, propelled by spite and hate alone, like just Terminatored across the entire fucking Atlantic.
They didn't have seagulls or anything.
I'll see that fucking movie. That's a fucking good movie. Huh? They went to a spike and sponge in the ocean floor.
And everyone, like, I do love how concerned everyone is immediately. They get out and they're like, oh, that's our child. And they're like, hold the fuck up. Back the fuck up.
Steps in front of him, it's like, you look like demons. I'm gonna verify this first.
She pulls a crab out of her ass too. That was a nice little touch. But they're acting all nice. They're like, oh, our little angel. And they show some document saying they're his legal guardian.
Yeah, they show a picture with them in the peach.
This thing is a peach?
Yeah.
They're like, it's not a peach, it's our peach. And he runs away behind the cops when they try to grab him. Yeah. And then I'm pretty sure it's the old man from the beginning is sitting off in the shadows and says, let the boy speak. Yeah. And the cop's like, I want to know how the peach got here. And he tells them about the seagulls and bugs, and everyone starts mocking him and laughing.
Should have just been like, okay, straight jacket, just immediately, just get the net. This boy has suffered head injury, obviously.
But also, I'd be like, I didn't think a giant peach would fall in the Empire State Building, so I don't know what's real anymore. These bitches drove a car through the ocean, apparently. So. But he gives a whole speech. They're like, it was just a dream. You dreamed it up. And he gives a whole speech about how it may have started as a dream, but so did these buildings, and this whole corny ass speech.
And then he says, like, you beat me. And then, like, the cop's like, okay, that's something I can fucking work with. All right.
Yeah, he says that as, like, an add-on. He's like, I hate your house. I hate this. I hate how you beat me. I hate... And they're like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, go back to the last thing. What? And then immediately they're just like, okay, let's kill him in front of this entire crowd of people.
Yeah, they pick up fucking
cops.
the firemen's axes and start swinging them at him, hitting the car and shit. And you see a big green light in the sky, and the bugs come floating down with the seagulls. The centipede goes, "Hey, you old biddies!" Fucking fart noises at him. And then the spider throws James a string, and he lassos up the ants, and the bugs just start stringing them up in the air. Fucking horrifying.
Which is, yeah, and this is the only time I think in the entire movie where we, besides like the very end, like we have the animated characters and a real person on screen simultaneously.
Yeah, this is also the first time I realized that they are people-sized, and that is also horrific. Because I guess in my head the whole time I thought they were tiny, even though it's a giant peach.
Well, it's because they're the same size as James, I guess, but I guess James got fucking expanded as well to like match their sizes.
Yeah, it was it's terrifying. But the cop, they string him up and he just believes them. And he's like, get those two freaks out of here. And then I love the reporters all going into their own phone booths and saying their headlines. They got big bugs in the Big Apple, a little Lindy flies giant peach. And my favorite is Half Pint Hero and his peach pit pals. But he introduces his bugs to the crowd, and a kid asks, can we eat some? And he's like, yeah. And everybody starts eating this peach. And if I was a parent there, I'd be like, no, I don't understand anything that's happening right now. I think
we just understood what radioactive is, and that probably radioactive.
Beyond radioactive, it's been outdoors for quite some time, so let's just not.
Yes. And under a lot of seagulls for a couple of days.
Right. And people have been inside it. Where were they peeing?
Yep. A little quick epilogue. The old man starts speaking again and says, like, yep, they ate it down to the pit, and they turned the pit into the house, and they put the pit in Central Park, and they all lived there together in what looks like a bit of a TARDIS situation, because that house is way fucking bigger on the inside than it could possibly be on the outside.
Right. And yeah, you see the spider, like James is reading a story to a crowd of people in Central Park, and the spider's like, dinner's ready, James. And again, now that we've merged this into the real world and nobody sent CPC to like find this child at home, they're just like, let the spiders raise him. In Central Park.
It's the 1940s. All the men are off killing Germans. No one has time for this. We're all trying to survive. Yeah, and apparently we get the old man says basically he wanted to tell the story to everyone, and that's the story we just read because that's how he did it. And
yeah,
just ends.
But then we get a montage of articles of what the bugs did after all this.
Yes,
and,
yeah. Where are they now? Shit, yeah.
The centipede's running for mayor. The grasshopper is like a conductor. Earthworm is
Spider
a skin scream spokesman.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ladybug
works in attorney ward.
Yeah, delivers 1,000th baby, and Glowworm shines New York's new highlight on the Statue of Liberty. He just lives on the torch of the Statue of Liberty now. And then we get some Randy Newman, and that's the end. But
yes. So
you know, like I said,
Randy Newman you've ever heard.
Usually they wrap these up in a tight little bow with, and then he came back to real life, and everything got better. But this is just like, no, it's
he learned
real.
a lesson.
This exists.
Yeah. Yes, all of that really happened. Be afraid.
They should have showed another article where, like, United States military utilizes magic green worms to win World War II.
Peach Air Force in full production.
Yes.
Just the Peach dropping a fucking nuclear bomb on fucking Japan.
They're all like, can you jot down the schematics for that shark you saw? We're trying to do some new naval warfare. All right. And now 2 years before James and the Giant Peach, but much more prominent in my mind. The moment the music plays, I'm 3 years old, my mom hasn't left, and we're in North Carolina, and everything doesn't suck yet. Like, it takes me back immediately.
Literally the first note is the score is fire. Like, I don't know who made this, but like it reminds me a lot of like the Home Alone score, weirdly. I wonder if like Macaulay Culkin is just like an orchestra attached to him or something.
Yeah, definitely same vibes. And yeah, it right out of the fucking gates, it takes me back to to I was probably watching this in like 96, 97, but it's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And the opening is awesome. The music is playing, and you got swirling clouds that turn into a dragon, and then a guy with a sword and shield. It's like all silhouette stuff. Super cool.
Yeah, it's all previews of what you're going to see in the movie and stuff.
Yeah.
We then open on Macaulay Culkin, who is a hyper-paranoid baby prepper.
Yes. But even, like, rooms and shit were so cool in movies in the 90s, dude. Like, he has a giant high voltage sign and fire extinguishers, a no smoking sign, and med packs under his bed.
Yeah, no. Yeah, the 90s gave me far unrealistic expectations. Like, Hey Arnold is never going to be the fucking thing that I get. Even though in reality that room would be like 1,000 degrees in the summer when the fucking skylight got hit by the fucking noonday sun. But it's a cartoon. We don't have to
in the treehouse. I wanted a treehouse so bad when I was a kid because of this movie, and I'm like, I don't understand why you're not building me a treehouse. Like, everybody has a treehouse. No one in real life has a treehouse. Everyone in the movies has a treehouse, and it's like super easy.
Yep.
But yeah, he looks out the window, gets scared by an animated leaf. Like, it was straight up animated.
And he runs to his parents' room where they're currently talking about how much of a pussy he is.
Dude, that would have destroyed me if I heard. And it's a long conversation about what a giant bitch he is. His dad's like, I took him to baseball practice. Nobody wants to play with him because he brought a medical journal and told everyone the chances that they get brain damage. And the next morning, he's working on the treehouse, and he asks Rich if he likes the treehouse, and he won't even come up. And he says that 8% of all accidents involve ladders. And this was super cool. They have a pulley up to the treehouse that he puts the nails on. Like, this is the shit that was burned into my brain. Like, I thought that was just going to be everywhere.
Now, I will say, my neighbor did have a tree house, but it was more of a fort built around a tree. Like, it had, like, levels, but, like, we did have a pulley, and it is as cool as it seemed like it was.
It's fucking awesome. But he pulls it too high, he drops the thing of nails on his dad's head, and knocks him out of the treehouse. And
yep, in a fall that probably should have sent him to the hospital, but you know,
exactly. And to the dad's credit, what most dads in the 90s would have done, in my experience, is stood up and beat the shit out of him for that. But he just gets
he's
up.
Got a thick 90s belt too, doesn't he?
Yes. He gets up, is like, all right, it's okay. Here's what I want you to do. And hands him like a $5 bill in a bag. It was like, I want you to go get more nails. This kind, get a pound of nails. And I'm like, the 90s when you could just put your child on a bike, send him to town, and no cell phones, no nothing.
I was thinking a pound of nails for $5, and that's like driving by those like cigarette signs back in like fucking Clerks. Like, it's $1.05.
But the bike is fucking sick. He gets on his bike to leave, and even though it's like supposed to be like, overprotected and everything, it's dope. He's got a fucking headlight on it, and it beeps
like
the whole
front
time.
shield in it. Yeah, like a little generator that turns the fucking lights on when you pedal it.
Yeah. Like, for all of his problems, he is a fucking genius, which he is in every movie ever. Also forgot to mention when he wakes up with the giant flashlight at the beginning. I love that flashlight.
Yeah. Terrible flashlight, but like, probably lasts like 10 minutes with a battery the size of.
But you could
like
beat someone to death with it, and it was gigantic.
Oh, yes. It's always my metric of how good technology. Can I beat someone to death with it, and that'll still work afterwards?
Yes. But you see some kids make fun of him for his high-vis gear and his bike. And they've got like a, it's going to come up later for sure. There's definitely a ramp set up over this construction site. And,
as he's going, it starts raining and thundering, and he starts freaking out and pretty smartly goes and runs for like a tunnel, which he probably should have just stayed in until the storm passed. But
Right. Yeah, and I like how the lights explode as he goes by them in perfect sync.
Yep.
And then a branch falls in front of him when he rides out of the tunnel, and he crashes into a tree. And he's like, no cranial damage, and then picks up his bike and goes, and dies. So he just dumps it. And I'm like, it's still a bike, though.
Yeah, but it's still the safety features are not running anymore. And he sees he's near like the biggest, oldest, craziest library this small town has fucking ever seen. Like it's like
Dude,
I didn't
it's like the Library of Congress. Like, it's fucking
yeah, or a
enormous.
presidential library or some shit. Yeah, it's like it's a labyrinth, like which I guess like kind of plays into the themes of the story. But it's like I feel like it's an actual place they found. Like it doesn't
Oh,
feel
for
like a set.
sure. I didn't look that
Yeah.
up, but yeah, they've got like these insane statues out front, like a lion statue, marbled columns and marbled floors, and the crazy, most incredible library on earth. And then goes inside and meets fucking Doc Brown. I call him Doc
Yep.
Brown the whole movie.
Yeah. I don't even think human name is librarian, but yeah, he's just kind of creeps out of the thousands of shelves of books and is like treats like fucking Richie like it's the first human he's seen in fucking 100 years.
Yeah, he squints at him, turns the lights on. Finally, I don't know why they were off, but I cannot stress enough how every scene of this movie was just like a part of my DNA every time we got to a new scene. But he's like, I have a talent for guessing what people need. You're in need of a fantasy, dragons, knights, and starts going on. He's like, no. He's like, horror, haunted houses. Starts naming all these books, and it goes fantasy, adventure, and horror.
Yes, and also once again, she'll remember if an old man corners you alone and offers you fantasy, adventure, and horror, run.
Yeah, he's like backing away, and he's just getting all up in his shit. Like, I know what you need.
Yep. And he's like, I
Fucking
just
90s.
need. Oh yeah, and he's like, it's like, and your library card, and like it's all filled out and shit already. And he's
Dude,
like,
I wanted a
actually-
library card so bad because of this.
And then like after this whole spiel, he's like, actually, I just like need the phone, and just like instantly he's like, oh man, fucking through the back and just
Yeah. He says, if you're afraid, just look. If you lose your way, don't be afraid. Just look for the exit sign, and then goes back to whatever he was doing in the dark when he got there. And then he walks into a Sistine Chapel of the library, like in the center part of all the shelves, and looks up. Beautiful ceiling painting with dragons, pirates, Jekyll, and a wizard in the middle that is the librarian.
Yes. So is this what he was doing back here? He's just on his back. Just
It's incredible. Again, surely this library exists somewhere, and I wonder if they do have a painting there, but it's incredible.
Yeah, and he looks up and starts looking around and slips and eats shit and lands straight in concussion town.
Yeah, it like keeps showing the water dripping from his jacket that he eats shit on that. And the camera spins around. And then he stands up and hears swords and hoofbeats, and then paint starts dripping. And my favorite part of the whole fucking movie, Nick too, the first thing we think of when we think of this movie, because it's just little drips at first, and then it starts splooshing. It's just multicolored
it's like
paint
pillars.
everywhere.
Yes, just like just like they're all like unique and different color palettes, and they start like moving and then like become sentient, like rear up. He's like, oh shit, and he starts like, running from it.
Yeah, it like turns into a dragon at a certain point, and chases them all around, and then he comes back to the center, and it all cascades together into him, and then he's gone. And then we move into some old school Disney animation, but I would argue that even this was like a unique for Disney animation style.
Yes. And it's another one of those things that I can just like hear. It's like, I'm a cartoon.
Yes. Yeah, and like I said, like, you know, Lion King came out around this time and shit, but I don't know how to explain it. It's like more polished than the Lion King than this is, but it's more unique. I think partially because they're making Macaulay Culkin into a cartoon. They couldn't use whatever templates they had saved.
Well, I think part of it too is like once we started getting to Lion King, we started getting to like digital paint and shit like that.
Right.
And this like very much still has like the pencil lines and stuff partially
Exactly.
visual through some of the animations and things like that. And it's very rustic and handmade. And
Well,
just,
because like, you
every
know, there's
frame
like
of this
parts in
was
the Jungle
hand-drawn.
Book and Lion King and shit where they just copy pasted that scene and changed it a little bit. They didn't do none of that shit with this. They drew every single scene.
Yeah, like fucking like I remember I was so pissed when I realized like Maid Marian and fucking Duchess do the same fucking shimmy dance and shit. Like,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah,
you
the
lazy
same the
bastards.
Bare Necessity dance is in 2 different movies.
Yep.
But yeah, this he says he realizes he's a cartoon, and then the wizard's there. It says, "You are an illustration. I am the Pagemaster, keeper of the books, guardians of the written word."
Yeah, just full dungeon master fucking vibes. Just flowing robe and a big staff that's like a scroll, and even his hat is like, it's like all page and paper motifs. It's
Yes,
very cool.
perfectly primed us to love Dungeons and Dragons too. Yeah, he while he's talking about the library where you can find everything, he's like, imagination can take root and grow to incredible heights, and you straight up see Hercules' foot, I think, walks by them.
A giant foot, yeah.
Yeah. And a pirate ship floats by, and then he says, to face your way home, you must face 3 tests. They outline this plot perfectly. They're like, you're going to face horror, adventure, and fantasy. And remember, when in doubt, look to the books. And then the cart crashes into a phone booth, and he's gone.
Yeah. He puts to the phone, and it's like still connected, but like not working, just like fucking like dial tone.
Which I have to imagine is him walking around in concussion mode, picking up the phone.
Yeah. That'd be great if there's a security footage of like all this, just him going like, and just Mr. Lloyd just like watching it, eating popcorn, just not helping. It's the most entertainment I've had in years.
Tell me you don't want my fucking library card, you little shit.
Yeah. Just trying to find your way out without me. There are no exit signs. Yeah, but the books start moving, and he's sitting on Patrick Stewart eventually, apparently.
I didn't realize that was Patrick Stewart until we did this episode. I never once realized, but that makes perfect sense. But yeah, it's a pirate book, and he asks him, "Are you fiction or nonfiction?" And I remember that perfectly. Since I'm Richard Tyler, and he's like, "What kind of book is that?"
Yeah, I mean, like it's really like uppity with him and aggressive until he realizes like he has a library card. Like, oh, library card. Oh,
which means you're like God here.
Yeah.
I didn't know you was a customer. So these books are like sentient enough to know that they are rented and that matters.
I even thought about it too. It's like they're always like, we're free. Like yeah, for like 2 weeks until he has to bring you back.
He says he can show him the way out, and all this stuff falls off. His belt falls off, and he goes, "Oh, I'm naked." That cracks me up, but it does. He points to the ladder, and it says, "Scale the mass and get our bearings." And he's scared of the ladder, and he's like, "Oh, I can help with that." And just opens a book to release. He like fingers through some books to find the right one. He's like, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and opens that, and a giant squid comes out with the ocean water.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of times where adventure's just like, the plot's not moving enough. Here's some danger. And just like fucking throws something out to fucking like potentially kill them.
Which is pretty accurate for an adventure story. Let's move the story along. Here's some danger.
He runs up a ladder that then like falls as it's being like fucking pulled down by the Kraken, and he's able to get to the top and jump across to meet adventure again.
Yeah.
And
then
as
he falls
down,
to
the water's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as he's falling down, he like catches a book, and he's holding a Whoopi Goldberg book, which is a fairy. And and I also she yells at him for messing up her Little Mermaid underwear. I'm like, Jesus Christ with the product plugs. Like,
and also Whoopi Goldberg and Little Mermaid underwear is definitely a fucking visual I don't need in my head.
Oh, that's nasty. She yells at him, and then asks what he wishes for more than anything in the world. And he says, "I want to get out of here." And she says, "I'll help, but you have to check me out of here." They're just furthering this thing where all they want is to be checked out, which is very sad.
Yeah. What hellish existence do they fucking live in this library? Right. They're like, "Get me out of here! I'll do whatever you want. Get me out."
She talks some shit about adventure, says he's a classic misprint. They argue over which one he's going to check out and where the exit is. And Pyra says we're in Baskersville, opens a book, and a demon dog comes out and chases them, which has to be a reference to something I don't get, but it was funny.
Oh, the Hound of the Baskerville is a Sherlock Holmes story about like murders that are happening at this house, and there's like a mysterious dog in the wilderness, but that's not what it is because it's Sherlock Holmes. But yeah, there was a dog though.
Okay. And then they jump into the bookshelf and end up in the horror section, and now there's graveyards around them. Yeah, it is. It definitely scared me when I was a kid, and the horror book was not adorable to me when I was a kid. I just hated them.
No. Yeah.
And yeah, every time they get to a new section, you see a giant exit sign glowing off in the distance, and they see a haunted mansion. And they tell him he has to go in, and you see Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde written outside, and they go, must be a duplex.
Yes.
And
And he's still quoting statistics like 70% of accidents are household related.
even his statistics are stupid. Like, they mean nothing. Like, well, no shit, Culkin.
Yeah. So statistically, you're pretty safe in the house if it's only 70% of all the shit that can happen to you happens there. So
Exactly. Horror, and then so they ring the doorbell on the mansion, and then horror falls from the roof. And fantasy the whole time is just like, he's adorable. It's like, don't judge a book by his cover. And he's
Quasimodo, basically,
but like dumb as fuck. Like, he reminded me a lot of Courage the Cowardly Dog with his random screams and stuff. And
yeah, but Courage is smarter. At least it's like he's got like, I guess the best way we can describe it is the way Looney Tunes gave all their character voices basically like mental disabilities and like made that a joke.
Exactly.
It's kind of like that. It's like, oh no, I don't know what they're making fun of, but it's something and it's not good.
It gives me a vibe that I don't really like a lot. And he holds out his hand, is like, friend, and then they all go inside together. He's also the only one that has like huge arms and feet. Like
like everyone else is, I guess, like proportioned relative to, oh god, I don't, you were a fucking raised Christian. You remember Psalty the Psalm book? No, just look up Psalty, the Psalty, like Psalm.
That feels racist.
Yeah.
He's blue, but it feels racist.
It's doing Smurf face.
I am happy to say that the depths of our horrible religion, this was never thrust upon me. That's good.
All right, you didn't get that deep. That's good. That's good.
Holy hell, that's bad.
Yeah. Oh no, like wait to see the dog.
I'm not gonna watch it.
It straight up looks like a gimp suit and like a goofy costume. It's fucking terrifying.
I'll put it on screen for the audience here. This is Psalty the Singing Songbook that was apparently used for some kind of religious propaganda.
Yes.
Horrifying.
Yeah.
See, there's an animated version that doesn't look that bad, but this fucking thing right here is...
Yeah. Just, whenever I'm looking at like anthropomorphized books, like that's the fucking sleep paralysis demon.
I'm shocked that I was never shown this. That mouse kind of looks like something I saw before, but
quick,
that also looks
or you unlock the hidden memories.
Sexual. Okay, we're all done with that.
But yes, this book is not as ugly as that, but still pretty ugly.
Oh my god. All right, they go in and then a raven dives on them and says, nevermore. And doorknob comes off when he tries to leave, and then Dr. Jekyll appears from the shadow and asks if there's anything he can do to help. Starts warning them, says there's extreme danger lurking around every corner, and then starts making a martini out of green liquid with an eyeball in it.
And it's like, even in this very room, the forces of evil are waiting to strike.
and Adventure tries to drink one of the martinis, and Horror tries to take it from him, knocks it over, and it burns through the floor. And they look right as he drinks it and turns into Mr. Hyde, and he like yells it as he does it. And it's also the weirdest Mr. Hyde I've ever seen. It just looks like a crackhead, like straight up.
I mean, it's kind of how the whole thing works out. Like, it's not a huge physical transformation. But he attacks them. I think with his cane, he starts like swinging at him, and they beat him with not a lot of fanfare. I think Fantasy just goes up to the top of the room and just gets her TIG welder out from her fucking wand and just drops the fucking chandelier in him.
And it puts a hole in the floor.
Infinite abyss below the house. Yeah.
Right. And he grabs on the Horror and is like pulling him in with him, and he keeps this was burned in my memory banks where he keeps going, sanctuary, sanctuary, and I'm like, what does that mean? I still don't know what it means. But Rich is too scared to go help him. Like, this whole adventure, they keep trying to get him to nut up and do stuff. So Fantasy goes and pulls him free, and then ghosts start coming out of the books. They're like, those are ghost stories.
Yep.
I like all the book jokes and book puns. It cracked me up.
I was just looking at all the titles and shit. Like every book, like when they focus on something, it's like a real
Yes.
thing. Like,
Yes. They go to the roof, and he's too scared to climb down. And then again, adventures like even books have spines.
Yep.
And then he hears the Pagemaster saying, "Reach deep within yourself and seize the courage." And he swings down a vine, and everybody cheers for him. It's like the first actual thing he's done, other than just follow people around and puss out.
He did the thing that all Cub Scouts do on their first outing, swing on a rope.
Exactly. And then they get down, and the environment starts changing.
Yeah. See, my personal favorite environment of this whole thing is the book beach.
Yes, this is also my
is
favorite part of the adventure, is the adventure section.
Yes. I just love like the environment too. Like the book beach here is just such a cool fucking background. It's like it looks like a sedimentary rock, like all the layers like piled on top of each other, but it's just like books at different angles
Yeah.
made out of like stone and everything. So cool.
Yeah, and it's all to me. I don't know really what goes into. Well, it was claymation, the other one, but I don't know. The drawing in this is more impressive to me.
Claymation's harder, but this is definitely prettier.
Yes. Sun rises over the exit sign. Everything's brighter now, and he tells Horror to get off his rock, and then Horror laughs as he gets splashed. And they get on a boat, and they're like, "Do you know how to sail?" He's like, "I wrote the book on sailing. Actually, I am the book on sailing." And
they they get onto it. He like stands on a fucking knothole, and the boat starts instantly sinking. Like, I'll just put a rag in there. That's fine for the open ocean, right?
Right. And he sprays Horror with it. He starts freaking out, saying they're sinking. Starts playing accordion as they sail off, and the skies darken immediately. And then it turns fucking red, and they see Captain Ahab. And he's like, "Have you seen a white whale?"
And then yet again, it's a very terrifying image. They just like look over the boat, and like something from your fucking nightmare, just like the whale just coming up at the boat.
Yes, I'm terrified of the open sea, and this might be part of the reason why. Something comes bubbling up, and they see it's adventure, and Rich asks where Horror and Fantasy are, and he says, "I'm afraid they've gone below with Davy Jones." And he says, he starts crying and says, "They're the only friends I've ever had," which is depressing as fuck. And then sharks start circling them. You don't get a beat in between things here. It's just next thing,
No
which again
time.
was great because I watched them back to back and knocked it out in one day. But they see two guys on a boat, and he yells for help, and Adventure's like, "Be careful, all sharks aren't in the water." It is immediately like, "You fucking asshole," when he realizes who they are.
Yeah. And it's like the piratiest pirates you've ever seen, like striped shirts, bandanas. Like I think one has an eye patch, one's got a hook. Like it's just like
yeah. They pull him on, dump upside down, and then they take him to see Long John Silver, the meanest pirate to sail the seven seas, Long John Silver. And they say he's going to be the new cabin boy. I like when they turn Adventure upside down and shake him out. He has like everything ever in his pockets.
Yeah.
And Rich has like an actual dollar. And the pirates seem to know what it is, but Long John Silver's like, "What the fuck is this?"
Like a library card.
Which like should be the most valuable thing on earth to them, I think, the way they act about it. And they
They're not books. They can't. They're stories. I don't know. The line is blurry.
They find land.
Can I go and like check out Dolly Parton's fucking biography and just take Dolly Parton home? Like, is that how this works?
Just start checking out all the smut books and knocking yourself out on a nightly basis.
You gotta stop doing this, son. I was seeing my dreams.
Oh my god. Yeah, they find Treasure Island. Empty treasure chest, and then they all start planning mutiny immediately. And they like, "Let's kill him and eat his parrot." You hear Horror say 16 men on a dead man's stomach. Chest. It starts making spooky noises, swings in, and they point a gun at him, and he does that cartoony scream again. And there's a bunch of cartoon hijinks start happening.
Yeah, but result in all the pirates being taken care of, more or less.
Right. Fantasy tells him to grab the sword before Long John Silver does. He does, points it at him, makes him leave, which I don't know why. I was sitting there thinking, like, he's getting on a boat, like, going away. Like, he could just go back to his ship and take it before that. They'd be stuck here. And then they find out Fantasy and Horror survived because Horror's head is hollow. just
Yes, and
really
Adventure is
lame.
all salty because fucking horror saved him. He's just like mad about that for some reason for 2 seconds.
Dude, this was so sad. He has a bandana on and he's following him around. He's like, I know I'm not your favorite kind of book, but I could be just like you. And he goes, like, screams at him and he just takes off his bandana and is like, okay, I'm sorry. And I'm like, God damn it, dude. See, Rich tells Fantasy he lost his library card and he's all down and out about it. And then Adventure finds it immediately, and then they realize Horror is
thank
gone,
God.
and they're like, "What did you do?" And he's like, "Oh, I'll go find him." And then this is a horrible scene that have burned in your memory as a kid, but they find him splayed out like Gilligan's Travel. This poor fucking guy.
Lilliputans. We get like a little fake death scene where he thinks Horror's dead for 2 seconds, very similar to James and the Giant Peach, where they hold us in suspense for like no time whatsoever, and then he's just like, I'm fine.
Right. Yeah, he says all this heartfelt stuff. Says, I'd walk the plank if it'd bring you back. He says, that was beautiful. And he's like, no. Fantasy realizes her wand has started working, so they must be in Fantasyland, and they start following the wand to the exit.
And the first thing she does with wand, though, is turn Adventure into a drag queen momentarily.
Yeah, see, it's like, are you sure it's working? And she's like, you're a chick.
And then we go on to the We Have Fantasia at Home music section.
Exactly. I think it's the only musical number in the movie, but it's just a montage of shit. He literally says, look, it's Mother Goose. And you see not what's the pixie's name from fucking Peter Pan? Yeah, Tinkerbell, but not Tinkerbell. They're made out of lightning. You see Humpty Dumpty, all the classic stories they just shoved into fantasy, I guess.
It's like, we're running out of time, man. Just fucking fantasy. Let's go.
If we're on the highlights, let's go. We don't make movies longer than 1 hour and 20 now.
And then they go, hey, look at that suspiciously mouthed and tooth-looking cave. Let's go into that cave.
I immediately thought of Aladdin, and they go in, and it's
I thought of Star Wars.
Yes. Yeah, same shit. Well, it's funny, too, because when they go in there, they're like, quick, find page 1001. He's like, Arabian Nights? She's like, that's it. And a flying carpet comes out.
Yeah. Legally distinct flying carpet comes out that does not have a cute personality.
But yeah, they jump on the carpet. It lights up the dragon starts lighting up the forest, chasing them, and they fly up towards the exit light. And then Horror accidentally knocks the wand out of Fantasy's hand. He's just constantly fucking shit up. And then the dragon torches them, and they crash land on this big rock tower up by the exit. Yes.
The dragon also swallows the wand, which is important for later.
Right. Yeah. He's climbing up and realizes the books aren't with him. Adventure goes to fight the dragon. It gets burnt immediately and just comes back in. And then they have a weird moment. He comes back in from getting burnt by this dragon and takes Fantasy's hand, and they have a whole romance moment where she says, you really are a classic. And then he kisses her and says, how'd you like to curl up with a good book? And then it cuts to outside of the cave and she kicks him.
Yeah. Try to get like book third base, I guess, or something. I don't know, man.
I don't know what the line was. She fully kisses him, and then when he says curl up with a good book, she's like, get the fuck out of here.
Oh, I'm guessing he tried something. He like fucking like, read it.
Right, because the camera cuts away. Yeah. Just right in front of Horror trying to finger bang Fantasy.
Yeah.
He mocks the dragon right behind him, tortures him. Rich looks to the exit, then back at them. He had walked past like a dead knight with full sort of armor and sword and shield and everything.
Yeah.
So he goes and picks all that up.
Corpse.
Right. Yes, perfectly decayed so that you're not dealing with any decayed skin inside of it.
Yeah. And also, in my head, I'm like, that guy died from the dragon, probably. Like they didn't work the first time. So what do you think you're gonna do, kid? That was a man.
And to be fair, it doesn't work at all, because he puts it on, goes and starts fighting him, and the dragon picks him up, and it all falls off immediately. But same as James and the Giant Peach, he just tells the dragon he's not scared of him anymore, and then the dragon eats him. Yeah. Big difference.
Yep. Yeah, then we're just in a dragon's stomach, and finds Fantasy's wand, which he sits on, which just puts away in his inventory for later.
Right.
And fortunately, this dragon's been eating books. Thank God.
Yeah, like he says, I got to get out of here. This is not good at all. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure Macaulay Culkin says some combination of those lines in every single movie he's ever been in.
Yep.
But yeah, the dragon has been eating massively convenient books for this moment. He finally figures out, I wish they had done more of this, honestly. He picks up Alice in Wonderland, and the Mad Hatter pops out, goes, off with his head, and he closes it, throws that, and it's like, oh, Jack and the Beanstalk, which is apparently the only book he's ever read, because he doesn't pick up on any of the other book context in this movie.
Nope. And then we get a view of what I thought happened if you swallowed a watermelon seed when I was a kid.
Yes. Fucking vine shoots out of the dragon's mouth. And
erupts through the roof.
Right. But he gives them a super long time to climb up the vine and get off safely before he starts chomping on the vine to eat it back down.
Yeah. And then just done. Doesn't follow him up. She's just like, all right, I'm just going to chill down here.
He's like, I'm not allowed up there.
Yeah. And then we're at like Grand Central Station for books or something. It's kind of,
right.
It's a little out of place. This whole place very feels like I didn't finish the last room and you guys got here a little early, so I didn't have time to furnish anything.
They walk in and see the Pagemaster again, and the books all kneel. And when he starts like snapping at him, like, you have any idea what you put me through? And the horror is like, forgive him, master. He doesn't know.
Then Pagemaster goes, but did you die?
Yeah, pretty much. He starts saying like all of his adventures, basically. He's like, I had to do this. I fought pirates. And he's like, yeah, that was the point.
And it's like, if I brought you here from the beginning, like there would have been no point to any of this and you wouldn't have grown and learned. You're welcome.
Exactly. Yeah. He says, you would have never found the courage to face your own fears, and in doing so, you triumph here and always. And shows him his in real life body unconscious outside of here. It's like, see what a bitch you are.
Look at that loser. Yeah. You see, we have like the closure beam too, where all the fucking like people that like fucked with him, like Hyde and all that stuff, you're like, you did good, boy.
Right. Yeah, you get a montage like Jekyll telling him he did good and shit too. Yeah. Then he grabs his book and they all get sucked up into a funnel. And he comes out of the stormy clouds where the Sistine Chapel was, falls into his body, and then 3 books and a library card fall next to him. And now that you see the books, they are the oldest books ever. They're not like titled books. They literally say horror, fantasy, and adventure, and they're this thick in horrible shape.
Yeah, no, it looks like they're the books that like they have behind like glass for like display purposes that you're not allowed to touch anymore. It's like that level of books.
And I don't care how much he loved these books. When he takes them home, he's not going to read this shit. He's going to get 3 pages into these thick-ass, boring adventure books and be like, this is kind of bad.
Yeah, and the internet comes out in like 2 weeks, so I mean, these books were in borrowed time anyways.
And then AOL came out, and they were never returned to the library, and then he smoked weed with their pages.
No, where'd you know?
But the library comes up. Librarian asks if he's okay. He starts running off and then comes back for his books, and he's like, you can only check out 2. And he takes horror away from him, and he says, I promised him. He's like, promised who?
He's like, son, I think we need to get you to a hospital. You're not making sense.
Then he says again, I have a talent for guessing what people need, and looks around and goes, just this once, and lets him run off. Doesn't do any of the process of checking out a book or anything. You don't write the date or
You're never seeing those books again.
Yeah.
Those are gone. So first editions, you're getting fired.
You get a knowing smile from Doc Brown as he runs off. And then we cut to him on the bike, which is normal now. Doesn't have any of the safety shit on it anymore.
Yeah, it all broke off conveniently.
Right. And he rides up to the construction site from earlier and hits the ramp and makes a sick jump. And my God, the amount of 90s boys that ate shit because of this scene, trying to attempt the same thing.
Yeah, and he rides home, and then we get like a very realistic scene of his parents like, where the fuck is he?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he killed my child. I sent him out in the world and he's dead. He was
By the
right.
time he gets home, they have lynched the librarian in the center of town. You sick fuck!
This is the origin to fucking Nightmare on Elm Street. It's like,
Yeah.
we took the kids and we burned them in the basement with all those goddamn books. And now just his magic dream powers have turned evil.
Yeah. Parents come home from looking for him, see his bike, and see the treehouse lit up. And the dad's like, that's impossible. And they find him up there asleep with his books. The mom's like, we should put him to bed. And he's like, nah, leave him out here. And covers him up with a jacket and then kisses his head.
Yeah, next to a fucking 20-foot vertical drop with nothing in between him and it. If he rolls over, he's dead.
Well, they didn't care if he left all day. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah. No. What if there was some fucked up serial killer who just put the body back up there and just posed it? They didn't check if he was okay or breathing or anything. They're just like, oh, he's fine.
We're like, what happened to you today? Where were you? Nothing. They're just like, they turn off the lantern and go back to the house and say goodnight, son. And I was kind of choking up for some reason. I don't really know why. It was just an adorable moment where the dad's like, I love you, Richie. And then you hear Horror's voice go, it's dark out here. I wish we had a nightlight. And Fantasy says, wish granted, honey, and turns on the lantern back on. And then you see their shadows from the light on the wall behind him talking. And
we end on a gay joke.
We end on a gay joke? I thought it was just a sexual assault joke again. Oh, it does turn into a gay joke. Yeah, he says, you know what would make this better? A kiss. And then you hear Horror kiss him.
Yep.
Says, I meant her. Poor Horror, man. Yeah. I want to know what's inside of that dusty ass old horror book, by the way. It's got to be some real horror. It's just
some fucked
the
up
Salem
shit.
witch trials.
Yeah, it's actual accounts of fucking torture and murder and shit.
But that is the end. But now we're going to take these movies through Tans around and rip them the fuck apart. Also tonight we have a guest scorer that will not be on camera because YouTube has very strict and weird policies about children, but my daughter watched these movies and has made up her own scorecard as well. So we'll be reading those alongside ours, though. So there will be no tie tonight. What'd you say?
I'm fighting with the child tonight.
I already did the fight with the child. We argued already.
just like my dreams when I'm back in elementary school. But I'm still 36 for some reason.
All right, starting with round one. There it goes. The opening hook. Which film pulls you into its fantasy world better? Which opening grabs you more effectively? If you want to go, and then I'll go, and then I'll read Beadless.
I'm gonna give this one to James and the Giant Peach. I feel like even though I really do enjoy Pagemaster, the opening scene of it is so standard 90s fucking family sitcom that you could slot in a bunch of shit there and probably not really miss much of the plot. I could make a collage of various sitcoms from that era and just have the same fucking storyline. Whereas it's a Tim Burton opening, which even though we do have the 2-foot tall windmill, it's still for a lighthouse in the back, it's still very visually stylish and just immediately into it. You gotta wait a bit for the Pagemaster.
Yeah, as will probably happen a lot tonight, I gave this one to the Pagemaster by one part. I just like that it jumped into the meat of the story a little faster. There's less time between real life shit and being in the animated world. We get there a little faster. We see Doc Brown in the opening, which I love, and the paint scene is in the opening. Some of my favorite shit is all in the very, very beginning, and I get pulled in by Doc Brown and the paint real fast. I'm trying my best to not let nostalgia paint most of these rounds since we have a category for that, but I don't know. Like I said, they just jump into the cartoon part a little quicker, which I liked. We get a lot more sadness and realness in James and the Giant Peach before animation, which probably saved them a lot of money, actually. But
oh, yeah. Every minute of stop animation is ridiculously expensive.
Mila is a fucking jaded judge, apparently. She gave James and the Giant Peach a 7 and Pagemaster a 5.
Oof. Not impressed.
Where did she write? That's 2 for James and the Giant Peach here versus my 1 for the Pagemaster. Taking us into round 2, the fantasy world. Which imagined world is more compelling? surreal stop motion adventure aboard the Peach, or genre hopping literary fantasy world? Which setting feels more magical and memorable?
Yeah, I gave this one a 9.6 going to the Pagemaster. I just like the environment is half the movie, just like staring at the book titles in the background, just like the infinite labyrinth of the library and the tidal waves of paint and the adventure beach made of books. It's just there's so much thought just put into like the environment that's
Right,
insane. Where I like Games of the Giant Peach, but they are limited by their medium. We're like, okay, well, if we want a new scene, we're gonna have to spend like 2 months building an entire set to fucking house it.
right,
And like it shows because 90% of the movie is either at the aunt's house or in the peach or on the peach.
right.
Like that's it.
Yeah, most of it's just the Peach in a new what's the word I'm looking for? An environment, basically, like an
Yep.
ecosystem. And it's really only two. They're in the ocean and then above the ocean and then underwater. And
Yep.
then New York was the breadth of most of it. And they're tiny little sets too, or like it's
Oh
quaint
yeah, you
and
can
cute,
tell.
but
Like,
like
so tiny.
just not as interesting to me as I went
No.
10
You can
9.
tell this is early Tim Burton where he really didn't know how to like get like the scope of the sets and the depth
Right,
of the fucking shots and stuff. Very much like puppet show in a way. Not in a
right.
bad way, but like very much, yeah.
Yeah, I wrote, I'm possibly biased. I just found it more entertaining than spending the whole day with bugs, you know? There's a
Yep.
lot more shit thrown in there too, more characters and stuff. But
Mhm.
Mila scored this 10-9 also, but in favor of James and the Giant Peach. So
Mm.
we can go get
Show her
fucked.
some, Studio Leica stuff like, Paranorman and Kubo and the Two Strings if
Oh,
she's,
she loves Paranorman. They like Corpse Bride, Coraline, all those
Yep.
movies. They love those.
Nice.
Um, But yeah, I will read her only note at the end. I swear I had more from her, but I don't know.
Tricked
Maybe
ya.
I imagined that. I'll read her summary at the very end. It's cute and funny. But that's 2-1 for Pagemaster in round 2. Round 3, animation and visual style. Which film looks better overall? We have stop motion versus live action, integration, and atmosphere and design. Which visual style works better?
Yeah, I think personally, and yet again, this is, like, completely subjective, I think they're both amazingly made films, but I like looking at Pagemaster better. It's just a bit more of a feast for the eyes, whereas, it like, Tim Burton is great, but, like, there is definitely, like, an uncanniness and, like, an intentional ugliness to a lot of his designs, which, like, is great and makes for a great mood and atmosphere, but, like, that fucking centipede, when you get up close in his mouth and see all those little tiny ticky-tack teeth he has and shit, it's just
Yeah.
hits the uncanny valley a little too hard sometimes, whereas, just the Pagemaster is just a joy to look at, like, I could have it off with the sound off and just, like, playing in the background and be entertained by it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It was definitely more bright, which, I know Tim Burton's style isn't bright and colorful, but I don't know, just had a more whimsical feel to it. And we had a lot of Tim Burton animation in the 90s, and I just
Mhm.
wasn't a massive. I didn't not like his style. It is a very unique style, but pitted against Pagemaster, I
Yes.
just like Pagemaster a little more.
Yeah.
It did have
I just miss classic hand-painted 2D cartoons, like, you don't get them anymore. It's, like, not a
yeah.
thing.
Well, yeah, and even for 2D animation, it was pretty unique for that. Like, I don't know how if you watch it,
Mhm.
you know what I mean. There's just like a little more fluid movement to things that you don't really
Yeah.
see.
It's a studio that I think must have, like, not done a lot of stuff for, like, a very specific group of Disney animators or something, I don't know.
Yeah, like the hair had more motion and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, I can see the link between Aladdin and Hercules. Like, there's, like, elements that I can see that are similar in how things move and how characters are laid out. This is very different. Like, just it doesn't have a Disney, like, filter over the whole thing.
right, exactly. That's a good way of putting it. And yeah, no, I appreciate the time and skill that went into the claymation for James and the Giant Peach, but I think it took just as much effort to hand draw every single thing in this, and I just liked it a little bit more. And apparently, so did
Mhm.
Mila. She scored this 7-6. She's still not giving anybody a 9. It's like, yeah, it's good, but you gotta bump it up a little bit for me. So
Yeah, I'm a jaded little girl. I saw Frozen 2 yesterday. You got to step it up.
Exactly. Yes. She's a K-pop demon hunter. This is not shit compared to that.
No.
But our first unanimous round going to the Pagemaster in round 3, taking us into round 4. Main character. Which protagonist carries the story better? James or Richard Tyler? Who has the stronger arc?
I mean, unfortunately for me, like, kind of neither. Like, neither of them are really strong protagonists. It just kind of things happen to them, and they're kind of like just more like, audience like surrogates, basically. I kind of edged out a little bit to Macaulay Culkin here. I'm gonna do like a 5-4 on this one to Pagemaster, because the wins and Bowie, like, just like at a point it just fucking started getting fucking grating to me, and just
So-
everyone's like, "You're so smart, James." It's like, no, he's had like one idea and realized that food is food. It's just like
that part gets me the most. The guys, we can eat the peach. Like, it's a fantasy when something as simple as that gets a draw from the crowd to be like, oh my God, you're right.
Yep.
I
remember
did.
at Costco the other day, and like a little 3-year-old like fucking tapped the card, and everyone was like, "Yay!" And then I did it, no one clapped, and I was like,
Wouldn't you have been a little more creeped out though if it just kept going and like you came up and did it, and then everybody was like, "Yay!" You were like, "Hey, I do this all the time."
Dying here.
So I actually 8-7 eked this out to James and the Giant Peach solely because I don't feel like Macaulay Culkin is the star of that movie. It's the books.
No.
Like, you don't learn a super lot about Macaulay Culkin other than he has a fear of everything. I just feel like
but also it's like, hey, child actor, come and act next to like the two big name fucking actors in the world right now.
True. I will give you that, and he's voice acting. But I just feel like James is more part of the story of James and the Giant Peach than he is of his. And Mila didn't, reason it out that way, but she also gave this to James and the Giant Peach. So I would be curious to hear what her reason is. I really wish I could have just put her on camera, and YouTube is fucking weird. Plus, the shit we say earlier in the episode mixed with my daughter at the end probably wouldn't be great.
Yeah, it's going to send up some fucking flags to CPS or something.
Exactly. So that went 2-1, taking us into round 5. Supporting characters. I was fucking pissed as shit at Mila about this one specifically. But which movie has a better side cast? Insect Crew versus The Living Book Companions. Which ones are more memorable?
Yeah, I'm giving again this one to Pagemaster. I'm going 8-5. Just because it's fucking Whoopi Goldberg and Patrick Stewart just fucking riffing off each other. It's great. Yeah, and fucking Doc Brown is fucking creeping around and fucking doing his shit, moving the plot forward. The bugs are fun, but they're the most one-dimensional characters that have ever one dimension. It's like, what's your personality? Brooklyn. Okay. What's personality? I'm scared. All right. What's your personality? British. I'm like, all right, cool. We understand everything about you.
I'm grandma and I'm creepy French.
Yeah. And what about that one? We don't that furniture. We don't talk, that one doesn't have plot.
That might be the funniest part of the movie to me, is that Glowworm just is and always was and always will be.
Glowworm is already self-actualized. They don't need to make a journey. They've already fucking they know what they're about. Like even his thing at the end is just like, oh, I'm just doing the thing I'm always doing to someone else.
Yeah, I obviously gave this one to Pagemaster. I love Doc Brown. I love horror. I love all of them. All of the side characters were just immensely better. Like, what do you got? The ants? Other than the bugs, you have the ants, and they suck. This is the one that I was like standing in the kitchen with Mila, but like, you have Doc Brown, you have like fucking Whoopi Goldberg voice, and she's like, I don't know who any of those people are. I'm like, damn it. So, as I said, Mila gave this one to James and the Giant Peach again. But yeah, we win that round 2-1 versus Mila on the supporting characters going to Pagemaster.
Okay, children are allowed to be wrong. It's fine.
Round 6 is tone and atmosphere. Which film creates a stronger overall mood? James and the Giant Peach is whimsical, creepy, and emotionally bittersweet. Pagemaster is adventurous, playful, and educational. I don't know why it says that. Which tone works
I mean, I
better?
guess books.
I guess, yeah, you get little tidbits of classical stories that nobody read in the 90s, but
Yeah, I think I'm gonna give this one strangely to James and the Giant Peach because if anything, it's a vibe movie. Like the plot's kind of
Exactly.
nonsensical. The stakes aren't real, or if they aren't that high. So we got to get to New York. Cool. Like it's
Right.
pretty basic, but yeah, it is steeped in vibes. Like it is just like a little feel good jaunt, fucking filled with little easy to digest, like not hard songs. Where Pagemaster is great, but the tone fucking fluctuates wildly throughout the fucking movie.
Which makes it more interesting a little bit, but it's like a diet version of each vibe, you know?
Yeah,
And Tim
It's like, I could have
Burton's
spent more
whole
time each
MO is vibes.
Yeah, exactly. The Tim Burton vibe is a fucking brand unto itself.
Yeah, we all gave this to James and the Giant Peach. Mila scored it 7-6, and
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like a My Neighbor Totoro in a way. It's like it's not really a super interesting story, but the vibes are immaculate.
yeah, I went 10-7. It's about as generic as you can get for tone and Pagemaster, just classic Disney shtick,
Yeah.
with some interesting things that aren't in most Disney movies. But yeah, James and Giant Peach is all vibes. It's a series of unfortunate events mixed with every Tim Burton thing ever made. Like, can't get more vibe tone based than that. So yeah, it takes us into round 7. Emotional impact. Which movie hits harder emotionally? Childhood fears, loneliness, and growth. Which one resonates more deeply?
Yeah, I'm gonna give I mean, like neither of them really hit me that hard as an adult beyond the nostalgia thing, but I'm gonna give this like a 7-5 going to Pagemaster because I think it deals with a couple of darker things. One is parent death in the beginning, but they brush that shit off and like barely mention it again besides a threat.
Yeah.
Whereas, yeah, just I don't know. Like it feels more storybooky in a way that like divorces it from reality, even though the other movie's about storybooks specifically.
Right.
But yeah, like it just like it's so divorced from reality. I have a hard time like empathizing with the characters a little bit because just everything's so over the top and so cartoony. Where Pagemaster does feel more like an actual kid has been thrown into this like craziness and isn't like this like fucking savior godchild like Tyrese of Bugs or whatever the fuck was going on there.
Right. So me and Mila both gave this one a tie, mainly because I was trying to be objective. I don't know if that was working or not, or if I'm just overcompensating. Pagemaster resonates with me a lot more emotionally, just because I was a very lonely homeschooled kid that adored books and adventure and had to make fantasies up for myself to keep myself entertained. But there's a lot more emotion written into James and the Giant Peach, so I feel like I had to recognize that, even if it didn't resonate with me personally.
Yeah.
So, again, I might be overcorrecting, just trying to compensate for my love of Pagemaster, but yeah, I put it's emotionally for me personally, but there's more written emotional drama in James and the Giant Peach, you know. So, for what it's worth, technically Pagemaster wins because Nick scored it to Pagemaster, but me and Mila both went tie. No idea why Mila tied it, but it was the one thing we agreed on. Round 8, creativity and imagination. So this is more as far as the storytelling concepts and world mechanics goes. Which one feels more unique?
Oh yeah, I mean I'm gonna go 6 to like 9 here on Pagemaster just because just the whole thing of the books being like alive and having worlds inside of them and you can like pull anything you want out of them and like this entire evolving shifting library that turns into different environments I just feels a lot more interesting than giant bugs and a giant peach that flies.
It really felt like somebody had a dream or an acid trip and like what if a whole universe exists inside a peach and then they just kind of built around that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Pagemaster feels more like almost like a flushed out D&D one shot with a whole bunch of side tropes they could have got more into. Like you leave behind a world of horror where there was probably a billion more things to explore over there. Yeah, no, the James and the Giant Peach, the most creative thing they encounter, I think, would be the skeleton pirate ships, and it's pretty much all right there in your face. There's not much left on the table. It's imaginative that they're flying a peach with seagulls, but they don't really go much beyond that. You know, you got the
it
green
could have been a
glowy
boat, and
worms
it
and
could have been the
shit,
exact
but
same story.
right. Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Bila, oh, she tied this one 10-10. Wow, look at that. She really loved the
Oh.
creativity and imagination of both. But I'll make sure I'm keeping up on the scores here.
Let me know. I mean, I don't know how exposed she is to fucking old animation, but I feel like it was a lot more unique back then, whereas today it's like so much shit's just like cookie cutter.
Right.
Like, oh, we're gonna do the Prince and the Pauper episode because they're twins and one of them's rich and one's poor. See that every fucking cartoon known to man. I think Barbie has 2, I think, of those.
Hey, you know, they know what works and what people don't give a shit about, apparently. But,
Yep.
so that was round 8, taking us into round 9. Defining childhood fantasy. I thought this one was interesting for Mila. Which movie better captures the feeling of childhood imagination, escapism, wonder, fear, and discovery? Which one feels more like a timeless childhood fantasy adventure?
I don't know. I think I might have to tie this one because they're different in different ways. Because Pagemaster kind of feels like the fantasies you have in your head when you're like out running with your like friends as a little kid and pretending to be pirates and pretending to fight a dragon and all that stuff. And James and the Giant Peach has the fantasy aspect of like this is what the kid is dissociating into his brain with to like get away of the abuse of of his like horrible family. And I've experienced both of those things as a child. So I think in this one I'm gonna give a tie just because they're different, but they definitely I feel they both like in different ways. Like very very much like in the like James and the Giant Peach, like we said before, like you can pull back into fucking like Twin Peaks fucking thing and like fucking it's like the snowball and there's a peach inside. He's just like, yeah, and it's just all in his head. But yeah.
So I went 10-6 here for Pagemaster, and Mila surprisingly also gave this to Pagemaster 10-9. But um, like I said earlier, I was lonely, sad boy that adored books, and it was the definition of a timeless fantasy, in my opinion. I wouldn't call riding in a peach. And maybe it's a British fantasy I'm just not keyed in on. I don't know, but I wouldn't call it a
So
timeless
desperate for
fantasy.
any vitamin C whatsoever. We're just like, yeah, we're a giant fruit. That's the best thing we can think of.
Plus, there's the element of it ending up being real that kind of fucks with the whole escapism, wonder, and fantasy thing, where it's just a real
Yeah.
thing that happened. But, you know, I guess you could say that kind of attributes to the genericism of Pagemaster a bit, but I would also say that makes it more of a timeless childhood fantasy adventure. I have no idea why Mila scored it to Pagemaster. She didn't even know I liked it more going into this, but she scored it to 10-9.
I mean, I guess textbook childhood fantasy, like that's way more like close to than whatever the fuck.
Sure,
James the
I
Giant
just
Peach
didn't
was.
see her being objective like that. I'm impressed.
Yeah, raising objectivist. That's a good thing, objectively.
She's a very, very smart girl. But that takes us into round 10. As always, final verdict, gut check, strip everything away. Which one's better overall in your opinion? Which one do you more likely to revisit?
Yeah, I mean, I'm giving like an 8-4 here to Pagemaster. Like, I love Pagemaster. It's a feast for the eyes. I love James and the Giant Peach as a kid, but like it's so simple and like even like the songs like are just so simple and don't add anything to it. And then when you take the songs out of it, it's like a fucking 1 hour fucking like TV special essentially.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, and it's just like it's early stop animation and it's just like not very easy on the eyes, especially now. Whereas like the Pagemaster is gonna look good until the fucking day the earth fucking blows up.
Agreed. Yeah, it's a little shocking because you're used to a certain level of animation now. The first time you see Macaulay Culkin, but I don't think people realize how impressive that was in the 90s that they so well made a cartoon Macaulay Culkin. Like Space Jam, they didn't even try to make Michael Jordan a cartoon, which was around the same time. But yeah, James and the Giant Peaches is great. But Pagemaster is one of my first favorite movies ever. James the Giant Peach was never really my vibe. Nightmare Before Christmas was never really my vibe. I fucking adored Pagemaster, and if I ever watch either of these again, which would probably not happen anytime soon, it would definitely be Pagemaster. But
Yep.
I went 10-6 here. Yeah. James and the Giant Peach is very unique and has some very cool stuff in it. By the way, Mila went James and the Giant Peach here. Her summary here at the bottom is I picked James and the Giant Peach because I liked how interesting it was and how he carried friends along the way, I think is what that says. And also,
Yeah.
P.S. I love you.
Well, not the judges.
Don't you try to soften the blow of your bullshit vote. But yeah, no, I was going into this biased. I thought some of the categories might win, stripping it down, and I tried to be objective, but Pagemaster gets it for me every time in this matchup. So, to summarize your votes this evening, we have a split decision here. It would have been we wouldn't have tied without Mila. I was kind of hoping that would be the case because then I could be like, well, Mila broke the tie. But
Yep.
Nick scores your match tonight 8-2, I think, or 7-2 in favor of Pagemaster. Mila scores it 7-2 in favor of James and the Giant Peach, and I have scored it 7-2 in favor of the Pagemaster. That's fucking strange.
Yeah.
But your winner tonight, 2-1, is the Pagemaster. That's so crazy that it was all 7-2. We all had one tie.
Yeah.
Mila and me had the same tie, but that's so weird.
Big brains all around. That's what it must be.
What's up? No matter how you split it, it's a 7-2 split. One crushes the other in this matchup. In a minute, we're going to spin a wheel to decide whose turn it is to pick the next matchup. But before that, we're going to give you some trivia real quick about each movie.
Hey, hey, Nick and Devin, movie trivia time. Movie trivia facts. Nick and Devin, let's go fast. Movie trivia facts. Who knew that? We know that. We know that. Movie trivia facts.
I'll start with James and the Giant Peach. The puppet used for Captain in the Icy Water, or the head at least, is the same as they used for Jack in The Nightmare Before Christmas, which we already knew. The film took 12 years to reach the screen. Roald Dahl himself was convinced that the property would never make a viable film. God damn. 12 fucking years of claymation, dude. This sounds like a nightmare.
Oh, yeah. No, the whole reason Studio Leica is still in business is just like one rich ass dude fucking funding it, and like a dream project is not profitable.
An evil Stormcloud Rhino is the antagonistic force in James's life. In several shots, the evil ant's car can be seen with a rhinoceros hood ornament. I didn't fucking know that. Did they kill him?
Yeah, I didn't notice that. They might have.
That makes
Drove him
so
off the
much
road or
sense.
something.
Oh, in the book, I forgot, by the way, this is a book. In the book, Spiker and Sponge are killed when the Peach rolls over and crushes them. That's so much more satisfying. Miriam Margoyles, who plays Aunt Sponge, also plays Grandma Rose in Balto. I loved that movie. Both movies start out in live action, then switch to animation, then back to live action. Interestingly, Grandma Rose in New York at the start of Balto, which is where Aunt Sponge ends up at the end of James and the Giant Peach. Oh, some of that old Disney connecting factors between their movies, maybe.
Yeah.
I didn't remember Balto going back and forth between live action and animation.
Oh yeah, because it's the Rosie as an adult telling the story to like it's the bookend of the movie. Like it's like they're walking through the park looking for Balto's statue. And
It's been
like,
a
did I ever tell
very
you the
long
story
time
about
since I saw
Balto?
Balto.
Yeah, it's like, oh Balto, I'd be lost without you. Like that whole bit at the end. Yeah.
All right, what do you got, Nick?
Well, first off, it's a couple of joined ones. So first off, Whoopi Goldberg and Patrick Stewart recorded their lines together in the same recording booth. It was also both Christopher Lloyd's and Whoopi Goldberg's first voice acting roles ever for a major theatrical
Really?
film.
Okay.
Yep. There is a cut section in the previews. They showed footage featuring Frankenstein's monster, but was completely cut out of the final film.
Why?
Christopher Lloyd's character is called Mr. Dewey, named after the Dewey Decimal System.
Haha.
Yes. When horror passes through one of Jekyll's vials, he briefly turns into a human being. The man he takes on the appearance of is his voice actor, Frank Welker.
Oh, I didn't even pick up on that.
Robin Williams, Billy Crystal, John Goodman, Kelsey Grammer, Rick Moranis, Tim Curry, and Steve Martin were considered for the role of Mr. Dewey.
Robin
feel
Williams,
Robin Williams
would
could
have
have
been
done a
easy.
good job. Yeah.
Rick Moranis, I'm good on.
Robert Louis Stevenson wrote both The Mysterious Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Treasure Island.
That is an interesting tidbit. Yeah, that one about who was
Yeah.
considered for the librarian is crazy, though. Who was it all again?
Yeah.
Robin Williams, Rick Moranis, and who?
Billy Crystal, John Goodman, Kelsey Grammer, and Tim Curry and Steve Martin.
Tim
Curry
Curry.
could have done it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve,
too creepy.
Steve
That could have
Martin's
just random.
weird. Kelsey Grammer is also weird. I don't like those
Yeah,
ones. Or Billy
no.
Crystal. That doesn't give old
No,
wise man
Bit too much of a
vibes.
joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Tim Curry would have changed the whole
Yeah.
vibe of the librarian
Oh.
and more creepy.
Yeah.
When he's like, I have a
Yeah, no,
knack
he-
for
yeah,
knowing
the-
what people need.
Yeah. No, he was already creepy to fucking Macaulay Culkin once in the fucking Home Alone 2.
Exactly.
Let's get a second bite of that apple.
Yeah, I think Christopher Lloyd was a perfect pick. Robin Williams might have been a good second choice.
Yes. I dare you to put Robin Williams in anything and think that it's bad.
Oh, Yeah, he was in that universe too with like Hook and Jumanji and everything. It would have been great.
Mhm.
But with that, we are now going to decide on what we're doing next week. So if you're new to the show, we spin a big wheel that takes us through several wheels to pick a movie. And then after that, we each get a turn to just pick a matchup. So now we are taking that. First, we have to spin a wheel to see whose turn it is first.
Yeah, we spent like a month in
wheel.
Boston one time. We're not doing that again.
Never. That's exactly why this happened. Yeah, we had way too much fucking Mark Wahlberg in 1 month, and we were over it. All right, here we go. The
Go.
Devster. It is my turn to pick for this week, so we will be doing something that has come up a couple times. We're going to be doing Road Trip versus Sex Drive. Decade apart.
Mhm.
It's basically the same fucking movie. Going into it, I can't say I have a clear bias one way or the other, which is nice.
No. All I
I've
know is
seen-
we're going to see some superfluous, not plot relevant boobs.
Oh, absolutely. You know what will be interesting to see the difference in what was hot nudity in the 90s versus 2000s, because it definitely drastically
Yeah.
shifted.
I remember, like in Sex Drive, like it's like because like the whole point of Sex Drive is there's like it's fucking Freddy Got Fingered, like just narrating the whole thing, and he just puts
Right.
in a scene with all the top of girls so he can talk about it. Girls don't stand around naked in the shower like that. Shut up, it's my story.
Yeah, I'm fucking psyched. I love this is such an unserious movie. I don't think that actor from Sex Drive has been in like literally anything else since then. But the older brother who has the dope car is fucking Cyclops. Like, I don't know how they got him into that
Yeah.
movie. And Road Trip, is that the one
Buddy.
with Sean William Scott? I always mix up Road Trip with something else. Does it have
I think
Stifler
so,
in it?
'cause I don't think it has Stifler in it, but that's the one where like they send the sex tape to the girl.
Yeah,
and they have to,
Stifler's
like,
in it.
Get it before, yeah. Okay, yeah. I don't know.
Stifler's in
Jesus,
it.
Stifler's
Freddie, I think the nerdy dude from New Guy is in it. Yes, DJ Qualls.
Yep.
The main thing I remember from this movie is him going, "I boinked her, man." Yeah, this is
What
gonna
would
be
you
a
guys
good
be
one.
with?
Yeah, I'm fucking psyched for this matchup. But there you have it. Your winner this week is the Pagemaster. Next week we will be doing Sex Drive versus Road Trip. Movie that's been done a billion times, but these were the two prominent ones for us, so that's why we're matching them
Yes.
up. I'm sure there's another one out there. Somebody's gonna be like, "This is the best one," but I don't. This is our best ones. So maybe someday we'll do another Road Trip matchup, but it definitely won't be anytime soon. Now that we're doing this, so.
Yeah. This will cover most of the bases.
Yeah. Yeah, there's these movies are not in depth enough to need to do a circle back on this category. But thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, share the episode, leave a comment, tell us how dumb we are. If you've never seen The Pagemaster, we have now shed light on why you should go see it. You're welcome. But I am Devin Vestal,
I'm Nick Nye.
and thanks for tuning in.
See you next time.